Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a little while, and it's been even longer since I tried out this tool, Audit Wizard, and I think a lot has changed since then, and I'm actually pretty excited to see what they've come up with and how they've sort of iterated since then. I think it's been, I don't know, was that even last year? I don't even know. It's been months. It's been a handful of months since I had a look. And when I did try it out, I know it was very early. I think it was before even like an official alpha or beta release. And they had a lot of cool features to do with like AI integrated right into the code editor window. A few things that were lacking were maybe like the ability to navigate code easily and maybe some of the shortcuts, or maybe I just didn't know the macros for them, which was probably likely. But yeah, a lot of interesting things and promising in terms of just increasing the efficiency and the ease of auditing. Because obviously, if you have an IDE that is generalized to just be able to support developers in general across, whatever language, if you have an IDE that is specialized to just reading code, really, instead of reading and writing, and also specifically for the language of Solidity, I think most certainly other languages are supported, but they specialize in Solidity. Well, I mean, the most of the contests and the stuff that goes through Audit Wizard, at least from what I would understand, is Solidity. So maybe there's some cool stuff here. I know there's like a cool Foundry integration, and they just did not announced the Tenderly integration, which is what kind of sparked my interest here. Yeah, so we're gonna check it out. I'm gonna play around with Audit Wizard. We're gonna find some kind of perps protocol to audit. We're just gonna have a look, see if we can find some cool stuff, see if we can get lazy and have the AI audit for us. Yeah, and generally, I'm just interested to see what kind of new features they've got. I want to try out the Tenderly thing. Yeah, and then hopefully, if we find this thing is cool, if we find that it actually helps me improve my auditing approach, maybe it's something I'll start using more and more. And then hopefully you can go ahead and give it a try and maybe even build it into your workflow as well. Okay, so without further ado, let us dive into Audit Wizard. Okay, so I've got the Audit Wizard page pulled up here. We're inside the app. We're at app.auditwizard.io, and I can see already things look a lot different compared to the last time I was here. I don't remember exactly what it looked like, but I know it seems like they've really improved the UI. Very cool. You can just like kind of slide this around. It's actually pretty smooth. I could see the wizards in the background. We got the three wizards. So, and then it looks like we've got like, news and stuff going on. Very cool. Lots of UI stuff going on. So it seems like we've got a few options here, and I did play around with it a little bit. We've got imports. So it seems like we can import like a GitHub repository, or just you can literally just throw in a smart contract address, and they've got several chains here. L1s, L2s, and of course they still got the contests. This was one of the features that I really loved. To see, you could just go and like click and automatically grab in a contest. So I'll probably try one of these. We'll have a look, see which one looks like fun. I want to try to find like a perps project or something like that. And then bounties. We've got a $2 million bounty here. Wow, a lot of seven-figure bounties going on. 100 million G. Oh, I see. These are, it's not US dollar denominated. Okay. Challenges. Okay, cool. So they've got some challenges going on. Maybe, I don't know, if we have time, we might try one out, but I don't know if we'll get to that. That looks fun. Okay, cool. So a little bit more going on here on the front page. I think let's start off, let's have a look at a contest. Again, let's find a perps one. And look at a lot of perps recently. Okay, let's check out Simio. Okay, or symmetrical. Yeah, I don't think I've heard of them before. But let's see. Cool. So, I mean, I'm just gonna dive in. I'm literally, I have not seen this code base. Um, so yeah, let's just dive in. I'm just gonna use the UI as it is. I'll try to sort of learn it as I go. Maybe there's some cool macros. I think they did have some documentation that I should probably look at to be able to give them a like a fair fair use. Yeah, but I'm just gonna have a look and just mess around. I'm probably gonna I want to use the AI and see if I can just be really lazy and have the AI explain the code to me because it's a little bit late and I just got back from the gym. So let's have the AI explain it to me and then we'll see if we can find anything that way. Uh, so that would be fun. Okay, awesome. So it looks like this is where the contracts are. I want to find the README first. Well, I know I'm in the README. Is this the only README? Should be another one. There it is. Okay, let's see. And maybe it would probably be helpful for viewership or to zoom in here. Okay, hopefully that's good enough for you guys. Cool. Intent-based permissionless derivatives trading architecture. It's a communication protocol that defines how quotes or intents should be created. Platform establishes an interactive contract between two parties. I see. So kind of like a, maybe what we'll see is like a peer-to-peer where like one person opens a perpetual position and then the other person is, taking the other side of that. Let's see. Specific parameters, whether the position is short or long, how much size it has, leverage, the price. Party B in response evaluates the request based on its own trading conditions, subsequently choosing to either accept or ignore it. Okay, let me just make sure I'm getting that. Okay, so the request establishes, okay, so party A is the person who initiates, they send an intent, and then the request is tailored with, yeah, we've got parameters on it, and then somebody can take the other side. This contract focuses on the sending, receiving, locking, and accepting of quotes, as well as the management of the collateral, right? So probably what we're going to see is some kind of account. You've got to deposit collateral into it, and then based upon however much collateral you have, you're going to be able to send quotes or accept quotes. So that will be interesting. What contract are we talking about here? Is this just going to be a single one with a ton of stuff rolled into it? Probably like a diamond. I hope we don't have a diamond. Actually, not really. Diamonds aren't that bad. Okay, main flow, deposits. So to start sending and accepting intents, the user needs to deposit collateral into the Simio contracts. So this is, you're going to deposit collateral first, allocate. After depositing collateral, the user cannot trade with it yet. It is required to allocate that money to a sub-account. Then he will be able to start trading. Sub-accounts are isolated instances as Simio is 100% economical sound. We got economical sound, so here. All party A, party B instances are isolated to sub-accounts. All collateral deposited into a sub-account is in cross with, so it's a cross margin with all positions opened using that sub-account. Okay, so it's a cross margin account. To have an isolated position, a separate sub-account should be created. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess that structure makes sense if you want to be able to have, different, like I want this stuff to be in cross margin together, but I want something to be on its own. So I guess I see why they've done that. Further customization down the road. Yeah, sure. Okay, send quote, send intent. And I promise we'll at some point I'll get board and I'll just start looking at the code, but we're still getting some interesting details here. So send the quote to start the process of opening a trade. Somebody chooses to open a long or short position by giving some criteria, calling send quote. Okay, so you're just opening a trade. Party B sees this request. We'll see the request, they can decide. If they accept, they reserves the quote through lock quote and they call open position. Time of locking, reserving the quote before opening the position. No other parties can accept the quote until it gets unlocked. Wait, what happens here? If he accepts it, first he locks the quote and then calls open position. At the time of locking the quote, before opening the position, no other party B's can accept the quote until it gets unlocked. User requests to cancel, or party B cannot open the position. Interesting. So you don't just accept it by straight up opening the position, you have to lock it. And then hopefully there's some kind of fee or something that's like requiring that, like if you do lock it, there's like a, you know, this is like a letter of intent, right? It's actually going to happen. Otherwise, you just lock it and you just DOS. Another thing that's interesting is I'm just thinking about the design. This doesn't really pertain to anything related to security. It's just isn't the, I mean, I'm just thinking if you just have a pool of LPs, like in, you know, probably the traditional perpetuals or whatever trading decks, then traders can just come in and use that. And these LPs have already like consented to accepting their trades on the platform instead of having these like one-off matching that like has to happen on chain and like actors have to be able to, I don't know. So yeah, that's an interesting sort of difference with this model that I don't know. I don't really think too much about the economical effectiveness or like the mechanism. But yeah, it's an interesting difference. Okay, canceling stuff. After locking reserving, if nothing unusual happens, a position will be opened by party B calling open position. Okay. And then close request. The party A can close the position. Okay, so party A is the one that closes the position. Interesting that, I mean, yeah, normally of course the liquidity provider can't control when you close your position. But okay, nice. So I think let's follow this this flow here. So we'll find this deposit function. Let's see. We're gonna check out facets. We'll go to where is this? Party A, probably, deposit on the facet. Let's see. Oh, we've got a Command F. I don't remember if they had a Command F last time. Do we have, oh, they've got a Command Shift F. Let's see. We've got the macros. Oh, nice. Not on the same level as the IntelliJ pop-up window that shows you like a, you know, view of the code around it, but very good. I actually like this better than the VS Code version, roughly. It's roughly the same. But, okay, so let's see, where is this? Account facet, deposit. Interesting, they've got a deposit for. I wonder if you could do any weird DOS stuff with that. Probably not, but sometimes. Okay, for the implementation, so here's the real test is can I command click? We don't. At least it's not. Ooh, I got one. Okay, well, I mean that almost. Almost. It looks like at least it's. Oh, that I do like that zooming in and zooming out. This is much more responsive and reactive than IntelliJ. So yeah, that's pretty nice. I don't know, for whatever reason, when I'm using IntelliJ, it just doesn't like I try to zoom in, it's just terrible at responding to that. I don't know why. But yeah, this is much better. So that's pretty cool. The command clicking leaves a little bit to be desired. The fact that we're going to this deposit function, I could see where the logic there is probably working, but I mean, God, that feature has got to be extremely hard to implement. I don't even know how you would implement something like that, but yeah, it's good that they have something for it. But I think as this gets more, as it gets more sophisticated, and I mean, dude, if you could beat the VS Code, like, I don't know, VS Code works about like 37% of the time you command click and it actually goes there. If you could get like a solid 40% of the time command click works, you could probably win a decent amount of market share in the in the VS Code community. But anyways, at any rate, let's find, and I think, do we have a shift? We don't have a shift. Do we have a command P? No, that's just going to print. Okay, so I think in terms of finding a file, there's probably some macro. I don't know what it is off the top of my head, so I'm going to find it with account facet. It's right next to it, of course. Cool. So the deposit function here, we've got, and this is a diamond because we've got the layout thing or the app storage thing. Yeah, it is a diamond. Okay, so what are we doing? Safe transfer from that thing here. We're getting it. And then we're setting the balance of the user. Cool. Um, oops. Okay, a little bit of a bad habit. Or I tried to command uh, left bracket, and it works a little. It's a little too powerful. Instead of going back in the code like you do in IntelliJ, it goes back in the. I think that might be just the Chrome browser doing that. I don't know, but there's no command back. That's probably some other macro that I'm not aware of, but so we'll manually go back. I'm not an Audit Wizard power user just yet. We'll see if I can become one. Okay, so deposit. Okay, yeah, just very, very straightforward deposit. And then allocate. I think we're probably going to have a little bit more going on in allocate. Let's see. Allocate, account facet, implementation.allocate. If I find function allocate, pretty smooth navigation there. Account layout, the account balance plus the amount. Okay, so there's a balance limit per user. So, of course, I'm definitely interested in how you could get around that, but we will see. Okay, and it's, what is this? Okay, so you actually have enough balance to get in there, and then we sort of deduct it from your balance, put it into your allocated balance. Okay, fair enough. I like that the logic is very simple. This is what it is. It's like 2 lines and then like 3 lines of validation. So I'm a fan of the implementation of this. It's very easy for me to understand right now. Let's see. Let's play around with something. Let's see if the AI, or let's see what we got. A scan. Got a few different scans, and it looks like maybe they have a Darren coming soon from Cypher. Probably some others. What does Slither say about this file? Slither, what do you have to say? I find myself really using tools like this less and less and less. We should probably have like a process for always using them in some regimented way. But yeah, just find myself using them less and less. It looks like this is not doing anything. So I don't know if I've messed up here somehow. Oh man. At some point here I did go full screen, which is cool. I did that on accident. Yeah, let's see. What if I try... Okay, this is a library, so that's probably why. It's a nice little QA edge case. But I bet this, if we do this on the, is this still, yeah, on the account facet, maybe that will work. Nice. Okay, we got, I assume Slither's just still taking a while or something. But we got some results. Very cool UI here. That's pretty sick. Man, they got some React or some Next or something going on here. Very cool. Nice. Okay, so we got decimals is not a part of the ERC standard. Oh, and this one has like confidence. Division by 0 not prevented. You know, these are good. These are good. Yeah, because I feel like division by 0. I mean, I just had one of those in a review and it was like a medium. Yeah, but I mean, that doesn't mean it is in this case. But let's see. What did we get? Oh, we got nice little highlighted. Let me just close this. That's cool. Okay. So I can run this. I don't even need this. Oh, I guess I do. Let me open this again. Cool. So I think it'd be nice if I was here and if I wanted to go directly to it. There we go. If you click the line, yeah, it goes directly to it. It looks like we've got 2 for this. So yeah, let's see. Yeah, okay. Well, if the decimals is 0, then yeah, it's going to revert. I'm going to assume that they're going to say tokens are trusted and they're vetted and such and so forth. Let's see, what else? Loss of precision. Nice. So we're flagging those division symbols. Let's see. Division by large numbers. Yeah, I think we're going to be fine here. Just decimals. Solidity may not work on other chains. Let's see. So is it calling out the version? Okay, yeah, so depending on the version. Yeah, that's a valid one to point out. Okay, and I think Slither is just having a little bit of trouble, but overall that's pretty cool. I like that you can just like jump to it in the code. A much better user experience than like obviously using Slither from the command line or something like this. So really cool, and I didn't have to deal with any issues for Slither failing to run, which is, well, I mean, that's probably what's happening here, but at least this analyzer worked. So that's great. Let's see what else can we do here? A graph for this account facet. Okay, nice. These type of graphs I don't really ever refer to. But let's see, what's the other kind of graph? I'm clicking around too much. Let me get back. Let me back. Okay, we're gonna go contract scope. What is this? Oh, I guess this is, okay, this is the inheritance structure here. Something like that. Okay, great, very cool. What else? What else have we? Inspect. Oh, I see. So if this is like a deployed contract, we could do, yeah, like just inspect storage slots at will. So that's pretty cool. Not bad. And then we can also simulate. So here's the new feature from Tenderly. So we've got an integration here. And of course, I'm not going to be able to do it on this, but maybe we'll try it on some other contract. But yeah, you can actually like simulate on-chain transactions through the UI here if I select like one of these functions. So that's pretty dope. And I want to use the AI. But before I do it, let's get into an interesting file. So we'll drag this out here. Let's find, okay, liquidation is interesting. How do we create? So let's go, I think it's party A and party B. So party A is when I'm creating orders, and the party B, to my understanding, is going to be the who's taking the counterparty, the other side of the position. They're basically being an LPer. Cool. Let's see, what kind of functions do we have? Send quote. Yeah, so I think send quote is probably the interesting one. Party B is whitelist. Okay, so I can whitelist particular counterparties. And I assume if this is just like zero length, then anybody can take it. A price. For a limit order, this is the user requested price. Okay, so, and for market orders, this acts as the price threshold that the user is willing to, okay, it's like a price. That makes sense. We've got a size. What is a CVA? Credit valuation adjustment. Can get liquidated. And so this is the penalty that the liquidated side would pay to the other one. Either party A or party B can be liquidated. I imagine that's probably if it has to do something with party B's collateral. I don't know, maybe it has to do with their position, because I wonder if like these cross-margin accounts, does it also plug into other positions as the counterparty? That's your position. Okay, so that's pretty interesting. A max funding rate. Up and LSIG, the muon signature for user unrealized P&L, something, and simple price. Something interesting there. Don't really know what that is. Okay, let's go to send quote. I have a feeling it just puts all this stuff into storage and does some validation, but so like nothing interesting, but let's check it out. What was that function? What's the function? Send quote. Let's check it out. Send quote. And you know what? I'm not even going to read this. I'm definitely not going to read it now. It's a bit chunkier than I thought. I'm going to ask the AI, tell me what it does. Can you tell me what the send quote function does? I'm just going to audit this through the AI. I'm not even going to read the code. This is going to be fun. Okay. Man, it's too verbose. I don't even want to read that. I'll read the summary. This function handles the creation and validation of new trading quote, ensuring all conditions are met before locking funds and storing the quote. Cool. I'm actually literally not going to read this function. Let's try something. Let's try to audit this protocol without looking at the code. It's just asking the AI, what the functions do, and let's see if we can find an issue that way. Uh, so, okay, so this function handles, I just want to know, are there any other state changes other than the storing of the quote request? Oh, there are. That's what you're saying. Besides storing the quote, the function updates locked and allocated balances. I guess this makes sense. Manages quote IDs. You're going to make me look at the code. What other state changes are happening here? There's so pending locked balance, so that makes sense. Updates locked and allocated. What line number for the allocated balance update are you talking about? Let's see. Line 86. No, you're lying to me. Okay, you're sneaky. Allocated balance. Unfortunately, you can't do an audit without looking at the code. At least for the line numbers, it looks like account layout dot allocated balance. Wow, okay, cool. It looks like a fee where the trading fee is deducted from the sender's allocated balance. Okay. I mean, if you need to put the line numbers in the report, maybe double check those, but that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Okay, so I feel like I understand what this function does, and I didn't even really have to read it before. Besides storing the quote, the function updates the locked and allocated balances, manages quote IDs. Yeah, so a question I have is, besides storing the quote, the function updates locked and allocated balances. So I'm assuming the locked balance, it comes from the sub account, and then you just lock that. I guess whatever collateral needs to be allocated for that, but I want to confirm that. So we'll just ask, I guess I'll just ask, why is the balance, what did they say, locked in this function? Let's see, how good of the context does it have here? Secures the necessary funds, ensuring availability. Yeah, whose funds are secured? Whose funds are locked? Party A, sufficient collateral for the quote. And is this, I'm thinking if you had an existing cross-margin account, you already had open positions, how do we make sure that the collateral being locked isn't needed for other cross-margin positions? Function checks the sender's available balance, ensuring it is sufficient to cover the new quote without affecting other cross-margin positions. Let's see. They're saying available balance, party A available for quote. So then you're saying that the party A available for quote function removes the collateral that is necessary to keep all other cross-margin positions for the sub-account healthy? Yes, that's what they're saying. The summary is, I like the fact that they've added a summary because I really don't want to read something that is this line long, but if it's 50% shorter, I'll read that. I'll read that 50% faster. Ensures that only the excess collateral beyond what is needed to keep the existing. Okay, so you repeated what I said back to me, but is it correct? Let's go to the lib account. Let's see, where's this? Or I could use this, and I could go here. Beautiful. Beautiful navigation. Oh man, I've only got 25 weekly credits. How are we gonna audit this project, guys? we gotta find a critical. I only have 18 credits left for the AI. Oh my god. Okay. I'm having too much fun here. Party A available for quote. This is the fact that you can have an AI right here. Oh, and look at that error pop up. That's a beautiful error pop up. The fact that you can have an AI right here and just ask it anything about the code base is actually pretty crazy. Like, I wonder, we need to test it and see how much context it really has. Like, let's ask it some tricky questions. Like, that's pretty cool. Let's see. Does this actually do what it's saying? Available, allocated balances. I don't know what this up P&L is, so I'm going to ask the AI. What is this UP&L variable viewer? What is that? Unrealized profit and loss. That makes sense, actually. Yeah. So these are trusted functions because you're just going to pass like an arbitrary. Okay. So if this is positive, then we've got profit. And if it's negative, then we've got loss. It's very cool that I just had that question. I just asked it. And sure, it was, I guess, in retrospect, kind of obvious. But that's cool that it just gave me that assurance, like, oh yeah, that's exactly how it works. Available. Okay, so if we're in profit, then the available amount is allocated balances plus your profit minus the locked balances plus the pending locked balances. What are locked? So locked balances are, I think, when you've gotten an order, but it hasn't been opened yet. So let's see if the AI knows that or corrects me. And locked balances and pending locked balances. Both are used to ensure that certain amounts are set aside for specific purposes. It's very specific of you, such as covering potential losses or meeting margin requirements. Okay, is that actually what it is? Funds that are currently reserved and cannot be used by other pending funds that are in the process of being reserved. I mean, when are funds placed in a locked state? Funds are placed in a locked state in various scenarios, typically to ensure. Yes, what function? What functions? What I mean, I could just Command Shift F, but we gotta test this thing. No way. Is this party A total locked balances? Calculates total locked balances for party A, combines locked balances and pending. I want to know what functions increment the locked balances and why. Okay. I'm using up too many of my credits here. So that one, somewhat helpful, not too helpful. The lock balance, I'm pretty sure, if we have a look, how can I, where's the Command Shift F? It's no longer working. I don't know what I've done. Is it? Yeah, I don't know. Now it's just doing some full screen stuff. So that's unfortunate. That's probably some Chrome thing that I'm messing up. But yeah, I feel like if we go back to party A, implementation, allocated balances, that is your cross margin. I want to know about locked balances. What function is this? Request to cancel quote. Interesting. Locked values. Oh, so that it's like, again, it would be great to command click right there and just look at it. That's the thing, is like using IntelliJ, I feel no friction in like looking and maneuvering around, but when there's just the tiniest bit of friction of like, oh, I've got to do this, and then I've got to go find where this is, I've got to manually pull it up. I'm such a lazy auditor that now I'm not going to do it. Yeah, so I think that's probably that's honestly the biggest thing for me, is like how easy is it to maneuver through the code base. And obviously we're getting there with like the command click and stuff. It's, you know, it's probably the hardest singular feature to implement, but yeah, that one's huge for me. Okay, so yeah, and send quote. Let's see, what are we doing? Cool. We're adding the locked values. What is this? What's going on here? The locked values equals LF. Great naming conventions. LF and no docs here. So we go to the AI in the send quote function here. What is the LF? LF parameter. What is it? LF parameter. The liquidation fee, of course. Of course it's the liquidation fee. Okay. And then the CVA, I remember, is like, I thought that was the liquidation fee. What is the CVA? Credit value adjustment. Collateral allocated to cover the credit risk associated with the counterparty defaulting. CVA represents the credit value adjustment. Collateral set aside to cover credit risk. Really, it seems almost kind of like an LTV, like if it's a more volatile asset, you'll, value it lower. Something, kind of like that. I don't know exactly how they're using it, but okay. So yeah, AI definitely helpful there. Hands down, that's really cool. Okay, so now that we know that, we're just putting all those things in a locked value. Party B, MM, what is this stuff? This is great because I can just ask the AI. This is just passed in. Yeah, so normally I'd have to go and find places where they call this and like figure out like what is party A, MM. I bet that's maintenance margin. It's maintenance margin. I know some things. Yeah, that's definitely maintenance margin. Okay, so those are locked values. What is this really being used for? Pending locked balances. I guess they're like the locked balances here are like they're literally locking what is required for the request. Like if I open this position and I need this maintenance margin, that is literally locked. Okay. Well, okay, so we've gone through, we've looked at sending a quote. I want to see what's up with the fact that you have to open a position. So let's try, we'll ask the AI a little bit about that. And then I do want to try out the Tenderly thing just to see what it is. And so I'll have to pull up some other project to do that. So we'll have a look at that really quick, which I think is going to be part of B. And see if we can understand that really quickly with the AI. Yeah, open position. So this will get called after I take the other side of a quote. So lock and open quote. Locks and opens a specified quote with the provided details and signature. Cool. Oh, I see. And then this unrealized P&L. This must be like they're abstracting abstracting out the whatever the price is for whatever the perpetual position is based on, and just letting it. Oh, I see how you kind of get a benefit from having this agreement between. I don't know exactly how it happened, but I can kind of see how maybe there's something bigger going on here. Open position, filled amount. Party B has the option to open position, so partial fill. You know what's interesting is what if it's like one way? Or what if you do 99.999%? AI, ChatGPT, find me a vulnerability. In the open position function, what if the filled amount is one way? Can you find? No, it's not a matter of can. That is a great lead. Find me a critical bug with this. Let's see. Gas inefficiency. That's critical. Let's put it in. Oh, and they can, you can make a report in here, so we gotta look at that as well. So we gotta get something, we gotta find something here. The dust transactions, dust positions. Yeah, what if you open a ton of, oh, what if you partially fill it like one way, one way, one way? Just do something. Potential exploits could be used to spam the contract with minimal positions. Yeah, isn't there a list? Wasn't there a list of IDs? Okay. Wasn't there a list of, I gotta word these right because we're down to our last 10 credits here for the week. And I mean, once I run out of my weekly credits, I can't audit anymore. So it's tough. Wasn't there a list of positions that, yeah, just ask, wasn't there a list of positions, and does that list get iterated over? Yes, contractor likely maintains a list of positions. No, I need you to tell me where. I don't think you're going to tell me where. I think it only has like one contract at a time context. If it would be possible to figure out how can we open that up and like put the entire project in the context, and then like that would be so huge, like so many, like almost no DeFi protocols now just go based on like a single contract as being the relevant function. Like any big derivatives project, like anything, it's cross contract and there's different contracts and libraries and different files. So that would be huge, because I want you to point, I want you to tell me where is it? Where's the list? And I can't use Command Shift F. Okay, so we've had a little bit of technical difficulties here, and I don't mean that we've run out of weekly credits for our Audit Wizard AI. We still have 9 of those, so we're in a good shape. Maybe I can pick up and do some more auditing later. But I think we've lost the camera. I think we're just out of battery. But okay, so yes, there's open position stuff. It does some stuff. But I do want to get to actually use the Tenderly thing and try that out. Real quick, I do want to look at the report generator. Okay, test finding. Let's see, what does it look like? Yeah, critical. You can input one way when accepting a intent to open a position and only partially fill it by one way. This is a problem. It's not, this is ChatGPT, but maybe there's something that could be a problem. Recommendation is to implement a minimum threshold for the fill amount. Boom. Generate a POC. That would be cool if I just click it and there's auto. Yeah, generate a POC for my ChatGPT finding. Okay. Nice. Nice. We've got all the findings right there. Now, how do I generate a report? What's going to happen? Generate the report. I think I don't know, maybe it knows that I have an invalid finding. And yes, so Audit Wizard cannot produce a report that includes an invalid finding. You saw it here first, and that's probably their single best feature, is telling you that you have an invalid finding. Okay, cool. Of course, I think the notepad they had on the whiteboard. Let's see. I'm getting way off what we're supposed to be doing, but there's a lot to play around with here. It's very cool. Let's see. Audit Wizard. Get a little magic. This is cool. So I can draw my diagram. If you've got a system, you've got all these different markets that go into it, and they report that, reported that with the reported that function. And then this might be the Synthetics v3 system. Cool. That's awesome that you just have a whiteboard built in, because I always use Miro. But okay, that's awesome. Tons of cool things, just like everything that's useful to an auditor. So you can tell that it's just made for security researchers, which is just really a breath of fresh air. Okay, so yeah, let us return to the homepage and actually created here an asterisk project. This is a DN404 token and an ERC 404 or ERC 76301, whatever the ERC is. This is an actual live project. The reason I've got it in here is because I want to use Tenderly, and I want to be able to see, you know, how something goes when it's live, how we can simulate it in the window here. But a little bit of background on DN404. It is a conjoined ERC20, ERC721 pair that Guardian had the privilege of reviewing, found a ton of cool findings in it. I would definitely recommend go check out, if you want to see the report, you can go to, you can find DN404 here in the Guardian Audit/audits directory. You could check it out. Fun fact, this was the first of our reports with a brand new cover and brand new branding on it. So something, I don't know, really cool. Found some cool stuff there. We also had a write-up about it. That's on Twitter. Yeah, but basically it's a conjoined ERC20, ERC721 pair. Beautiful, beautiful contract. Written, you know, I would say probably 50% solidity, 50% assembly. Yeah, of course, written by Vectorized and the rest of the team over there, with Harrison, Pop Punk Unchained, OX Quit, Cyborg, Amity Michaels. Yeah, great contract. I'm probably focusing on it too much, but it's awesome. And then OX Just to Dev. Don't want to leave. Great contract. It's like the most ideal and efficient way to combine an ERC20 and an ERC721 functionality into a single address. There are two different contracts, but they're conjoined, so they like delegate call. The 721 will delegate call to the main contract, which is where the ERC20 technically lives, but that's the high level. And what I'm going to be doing here is I'm just going to try to simulate like a transfer on the asterisk collection, which is a DN44. So it is an NFT and it also is an ERC20. So let's see now, because the transfer function is a little bit more complex. There's some ERC20 accounting, there's some ERC721 accounting. Let's see, and I've got the asterisks holders pulled up here, so I'll just copy this holder address. Here's the from address. That's where we're going to send the transaction from, somebody who actually has asterisk tokens. And we're going to call the transfer function. So let me find transfer. I will say one thing, it would be really nice to be able to search in here, like type in, because there's a lot of stuff here. And then the amount, that's going to be 1. And okay, so first I want to do 1, and we should see that it gets burned from the from and then minted to the to, I think. Yes. We'll see. Let's simulate it. It's been a while since I looked at DN44. Running transaction, we got an error. What did I do? I messed it up. From here, transfer, oh, did I put that for way? What did I do? Transfer to just some arbitrary address, and then I'll put that. How are we looking tenderly? Okay, here we are. We can simulate transaction. Let me put the from address. That's our holder. Let's see. It looks like that one worked. So let's see. Cool, so we got a burn and a mint. And then we emitted an event. Okay, and we can see the call trace, state changes, a bunch of crazy storage slots getting manipulated here. So I think if I go one way less than this, then I think we won't see the burn and the mint. So if I go here, and I go and I build another one, then since we're not above the threshold, pretty certain the unit for asterisks is 1E18. So if I go and we do a transfer, so an ERC20 converts to an ERC721 at a rate of 1E18. So if I'm under that, then we won't have any ERC721s to burn or nor to mint. So assuming this to address doesn't hold anything. So if I go, can I go one down from this? Oh no, you're not going to make me do that, are you? Well, what if I just do boom, boom, and make it half? Can we simulate that? Let's see. If I open, we've got a burn, right? We've got a burn because it will dip below the balance necessary on the from account, but we do not have a mint because the to account will not achieve the necessary balance to receive a full 721. So that's cool, and of course we're still transferring half of an asterisk. So that is cool. We're literally interacting with the chain right now in a pretty seamless way. Like I literally just imported this contract and then I don't really know how to get back to it at this point, but yeah, my console log is open and I can't close it, but that is I'm not an Audit Wizard power user. I'll just state that again. Not a power user, but okay. And it looks like they've even got like a checklist down here. So yeah, tons of features that we just find ourselves using on a regular basis as security researchers. So that's very cool. Yeah, I mean, I think we've pretty much we've tried out, probably, I don't know, I think from what I see a lot of the features, I'm sure there's so many more. But yeah, this was really awesome. And actually I had a great experience. Using that AI built into the actual window. So I think that's super cool. And I think once we're able to get that to understand the entirety of the project, and also if we fix the navigation and just make that, maybe up to par with maybe a VS Code, or maybe even better than a VS Code, maybe even as good as an IntelliJ, then I would, if we do those two things, I'm coming here. Like I'm just gonna do my 10 hours a day of auditing here in Audit Wizard. So yeah, really cool. I'm actually extremely impressed by the AIs. That was really fun to do, and I actually really wish I had that inside of IntelliJ when I'm actually auditing. But yeah, so maybe I will actually end up pulling up some projects in here and like talking to the AI and seeing what it knows. But yeah, super cool. Obviously, really impressed by the UI. It's actually very clean, and like to be honest, navigating the code base was a lot easier than I thought. So yeah, overall great progress from the Audit Wizard team. Of course, this is not like a sponsored video or whatever. I don't do those, but this is just a really interesting piece of software. It's a really interesting, I don't know, I guess you could call it a project. Yeah, this is something really excellent, and I actually encourage you guys, definitely go try it out for yourself just to see if it's something that, like, on the off chance that you find that you really love using it and it boosts your efficiency by like 10, 15, 20%, that's going to make a huge difference over the next, coming months and years. And you can see I hit my time limit here, so it's time for me to go to bed. Or at least I'm supposed to, but of course I'm going to stay up and keep looking at some code. But yeah, Audit Wizard looking great. I'll see you guys in the next one.